Hey guys, Pastor Ash here. And today, with 1.1 of Wuthering Waves right around the corner coming out next week, I wanted to take a look at 1.2, jumping ahead a little bit, and some of the potential resonators we could get. I know that with 1.1, everyone kind of knew where we were going with the resonators. 1.2, though, is still a bit of a question mark. So I just wanted to go over a couple of the resonators that we could be getting. First one is probably the most obvious one, and that's Camellia. She was a, excuse me, she was actually playable in the in the closed beta testing. A lot of people weren't aware of that when she first came out, or was first seen in the story, I should say. But as you can see here, this is what she looked like in the closed beta testing. She was playable. She used a standard sword, and she was just a little bit more cheery. But in my opinion, she looked a little bit more creepy. So it'll be interesting to see how they work her back in. Obviously, she's been seen and mentioned in the story. She's got her famous scene that's playing here. But she is definitely one that's on the horizon, and I'm sure they will integrate her more. Probably integrate her similar to like an alto and encore kind of thing, where they're not quite friendly, but I mean, they have that kind of friendly aura, but they're more so following the lines of our our goals aligned together. So that'll probably be the route that we end up seeing her come around. The next two that I am awfully suspicious will probably come around, but I have a feeling they may come together. Is going to be Faralova and Scar. Obviously, we've already had a pretty big delving into Scar with not only his involvement in the story, but also in the fact that his transformed form has continued to stay around as a weekly boss. So it may be a little bit more difficult to incorporate him into the playable role, with his big role still being, or his big form still being attackable. One going into the other kind of thing. But with that, I, I think that can easily be worked around. Faralova, though, we haven't seen her at all as you know, involved in the story outside of cutscenes. So she could easily be integrated. I don't know how they would work that into the story to make her friendly. Again, just like with every other enemy out there ever, it's probably going to be one of those where the goals align. So potentially her and Scar kind of join up with us. I don't know if that'll really be a thing, or that's how that'll go, but that's more than likely what it'll be. It's just the easiest. Yes, it is lazy writing, but it's the easiest, and it's the easiest for everyone else to kind of grasp. We don't know for sure how they will be played, because especially Faralova, the only thing we really ever see from her is her wand when she's starting the Tacit invasion there at the end of, is it Act 5, 6, somewhere in that ballpark where that starts. So it'll be interesting to see what they give her in terms of her weapon. It'll be more than likely be whatever it is that Encore uses. It'll probably be that. The next one is a bit of a stretch, And that's going to be General Geshu Lin. I think he is probably one of the most anticipated characters to be introduced to the game. Yes, we've seen him as a flashback. We've seen him as these phantoms almost from the Retroact reign. But we haven't actually met him because he's supposed to be dead. I have a sneaky suspicion he's not. There's no way they could put this much time and effort into a character design of his that has had such a positive reaction from the fans, because all the fans are like, he's badass. There's no way they could do that and him just stay dead. I'm sure he will still be alive. He's still alive in Overthrax, I think was his name, Overthrax. But supposedly dying when he confronted him. I don't know how they would bring him back. More than likely he's stuck in there. Like he somehow, when he was fighting Overthrax, he was absorbed. And after years and years and years of just being stuck inside and probably constantly tormented or whatever, he snapped. And then he'll come back as a bad guy. That'll probably be the way that'll happen. You can already tell from his voice lines, from his Phantom, from his kind of flashback with Jian, like you're seeing here, that he was not quite mentally right. The fact that he talks about that we need to be successful regardless of how many you distracted me, Squirtle. The fact that he was saying that we need to be successful to fight despite how many people we sacrifice for it, that's a bit on the crazy side. That he was willing to walk over piles of corpses of his own men just to be successful. Yes, I get in the big scheme of things, being successful meant the continuation of the world and all of that, but like, that's not the point. You can't just throw your men into the wind. That's part of why there was that whole controversy with Jian about how he supposedly retreated. It kind of, you can see the basis here that he doesn't agree that just throwing away the lives of his men is appropriate. So whenever Geshu Lin dies or disappears or whatever, and his men start falling behind, he doesn't fall behind with them. He holds the line so others can retreat, even though his order was to continue on after Geshu passes or falls, if that happens. So I'm not sure I would call him, when I say him, John, a coward. Anyways, I would love to see Geshu Lin. I don't know that we will. It would be great. I don't know that 1.2 is gonna be the place for him. It'll probably be a little bit later. I have a sneaky suspicion that it won't be him, but you know, that we can hope. The last one is a little bit of an oddball. I don't think 1.2 will be the place that we see him, but that is Jan. He is the simulation trainer, and who you go to talk to make that happen. He's just such a badass looking character. There's no way you put this much time and effort into making somebody that badass and you're not going to make him playable. I think he would be an appropriate 4-star. I think he would fit great as a 4-star, because obviously he's not a main character, and because of how he situates in the world, you don't want him to be that important, because it's just really weird when major 5-star characters are also permanent in the world. However, I think he would be great. So those are 5 resonators that are potential for 1.2. If any of those happen, that'd be great. If they pull some out of nowhere and we can introduce totally new characters, that's fine too. But let me know down below who you think should be 1.2. And if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff to help the channel. And I'll catch you next time. Thanks, guys.